All elite footballers have it. It's called fascia, and here are 8 reasons why you need to be training your fascia as a footballer. And what does fascia even mean? Welcome, I'm Taylor. Let's get started. Contrary to popular belief, you can actually train your fascia directly because they found that the myofibroblasts in the paramecium possess contractile elements for elastic energy transfer. This is different from all of the mainstream science that originally thought that fascia was just an inert tissue that had no contractile elements and that muscle was the only way you were able to move your body. Training your fascia directly is not about doing yoga all the time. It's not about doing excessive stretching. And it's not about being a little nerd that's afraid of lifting heavy weights. That's not what fascia is about. All top athletes of all sports are fascial driven, depending on injury history and childhood of differing degrees. You simply don't make it to the top if you're not fascial driven. So here are 8 areas that you will be getting benefits for training your fascia correctly the way that I teach. Number 1, coordination. This is probably the most important area of fascia because fascia is the body's biggest sensory organ. It is filled with mechanoreceptors and proprioceptors 10 times more than muscle actually. Every single muscle fiber in your body is covered in fascia. What this does is it integrates your body from top to bottom, creating a well-tensioned fascial system, allowing you to integrate all your muscles into movements to execute the actions that you need to on the field. Number 2, elasticity. Fascia contains both elastic sprint and viscoelastic shock absorption properties, which allow for a more efficient mechanism of power production compared to isolated muscle shortening. Think how a kangaroo springs around using almost zero energy, simply recycling the force off the ground. Number 3, strength. Remember, strength is 50% coordination, and coordination is all about fascia. The more you train your fascia, the more integrative strength you'll create without relying on slow, bulky muscle built in the gym that doesn't have the same connective tissue underneath, integrating all the muscles like we just talked about above. The quality of contraction and relaxation of muscle in a big bodybuilder versus a top footballer of similar weight and height is where you'll see the true difference in actual strength. Lifting big weights in the gym, that's great for aesthetic and physicality, but it doesn't actually translate to utilizing that strength in the actions that a footballer is required to do to win matches. Number 4, speed. Sprinting is neurologically the most taxing action your body can do. It is a skill. Fascia unlocks greater neurological integration so that you can move your fastest. Every elite sprinter has this. You can take 2 sprinters, the same exact height and body weight. One guy is faster for a reason. It's not his luck. It's because he has the coordination to integrate his body to a better quality so he can execute the skill of running faster than the other guy. If the other guy added on extra bulk, that wouldn't make him as fast because the guy that's faster isn't stronger or isn't faster because of the increased muscle. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. Simply running your fastest over and over again is good, but the correct fascia work will multiply the results of your efforts so that you can actually become faster neurologically. Adding more muscle, lifting heavier weights doesn't translate to you executing the skill of sprinting faster. Mobility. A well-tensioned fascial system allows muscles to relax, returning to full mobility to your body. Ignoring fascia and simply stretching a tight muscle over and over again will do nothing except aggravate the issue even more because you're just numbing the pain receptors in your body. So you think it's improving, but all you're doing is just turning off the engine light in your car, thinking things are better. But in reality, you've just turned off your only connection to your body, communicating to you what's going on, right? That's very bad if you no longer have a pathway of communication with your muscles because you're simply stretching every single tight muscle. But did you ever think that the muscle is tight for a reason? The muscle's tight because something else is too loose. You need to find equilibrium somewhere in the middle. Like I was saying, tightness is a neurological response to help reach equilibrium compensating for some other kind of lack of tightness, usually in the fascial system somewhere else in the body. Stamina. Unlike muscle, fascia consumes very little oxygen, utilizing the elasticity we mentioned earlier. In this manner, you are creating free energy in each step akin to a pogo stick or like the kangaroo. The muscle-driven athlete does not have the luxury and uses much more energy to make each step. That's why they tire as the game goes on, and the fascial-driven footballer gains more energy because they're growing their elasticity. They're winding up the rope even more, building tension in the system so that there's higher potential to unload it. The higher level of force absorption equals a higher level of force production. Don't forget that. Agility. The lighter you weigh, the quicker you can move. A key component of fascial tensegrity is how well your weight is suspended. A muscle-driven athlete can be heavier than a fascial-driven athlete, even though they weigh the same weight. This is how the correct kind of fascial training will make you nimble, lightweight, and great at change of direction. Power. Have you ever wondered how a skinny footballer is able to run so fast or even be super strong like Riyad Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Messi, any other top player like that? Yet footballers with more muscle are actually slower and actually weaker on the football pitch. This has to do with what's called the utilization ratio of muscle fiber. Most footballers have very little access to all of their muscle fibers due to myofascial adhesions and a sympathetic tone in the muscle. Increasing your fascial tensegrity allows for greater access to your muscle fibers, specifically through the posterior chain. Put very simply, muscle fibers are activated from fascial inserts. Fascia is a web of communication from the nervous system, from the brain. So if the network of communication is disrupted, then all the muscle fibers around your body are not going to turn on and off as they need to in split second on the field. That's why you have to train the network in between the muscles and the brain so everything works correctly. All right, so now that you've fallen in love with fascia, I want to cover some of what are the common tactics from the haters. Because I've heard it all before. Number one, someone will say fascia isn't real, bro. Well, the reality is fascia has been studied for decades. Early on in human science, fascia was considered just to be useless tissue that was like stuffing, just in between the muscles and the bones and everything else. And scientists did think it was useless. Yeah, that's right. But over the last 10, 15, even 20 years, there is new science showing that that's not the case. And we're on the cutting edge of science here. We're not going off textbooks that are 40 years old and that are based on many, many assumptions, not based on reality, not based on the results of top level athletes. Some guys will tell me, but Taylor, pro footballers are in the gym, right? Yeah, they are. But they're forced to be in the gym from unathletic trainers who couldn't make it pro themselves, who also went to university learning theory and the science that I just mentioned, thinking fascia is just useless tissue, studying dead bodies, which is called cadaver science, which has no bearing on reality. And the third one is, Taylor, but you need big muscles to be strong, right? Well, dude, go ask any pro footballer and they'll tell you that usually the best players are not the guys that are the biggest in the gym. Athletic ability does not come from muscle hypertrophy. That is bodybuilding. All forms of gym work comes from a platform, a foundation of bodybuilding. That's why I say beware the gym, because nothing in there is based on what makes Messi. Messi is not good at doing back squats and deadlifts and hip thrusts, but yet you want to perfect that. Why? Messi's not good at it. You could easily become better at Messi at those lifts in 6 months, but you will not become a better footballer in those 6 months. The whole reason I'm here is to help you understand and help you become closer to what actually makes Messi who Messi is and other players of that ilk. And so lastly, this idea of get bigger, get stronger is just a false dichotomy. Those two things are not related. It's just a common marketing tactic, bigger, faster, stronger. that is not like, it's not it's not based on reality. It's just something that sounds good when you say it. It's a marketing tactic for Gatorade or for any other energy drink or supplement, protein powder. It's not related to performance. It's just kind of like silly, and people that don't know any better just hear that stuff and they believe it, and they go to the gym and they work hard and they sweat, they burn calories, and they just think that working hard gets results. It doesn't. Working hard is the bare minimum. It's like kind of the obvious thing that anyone can do. But what takes genius is actually transforming your biomechanics and your athletic ability to become skillful, to become creative, to become effortlessly athletic. And that's what we do here at Football Entangled. So if you enjoyed this video, if you want to start training your fascia, down below we have a link to do our free assessment. I will look at your current level of foot functionality, and then we'll talk about, okay, what do you need to do to upgrade that and to improve some of those things. And usually that is one of the major root causes behind many injuries and dysfunctions and any kind of issue that's stopping you from being the best footballer that you can be. If you want to do that, the link is down below. I'm Taylor. Hope this helps, guys. I'll see you very soon.